Okay, so I'm going to show you how to upload the file for the embellishments if you do want to cut them on your Cricut. So we're going to go ahead and just go to new project, make sure you select the correct machine. This is just a brief detail on how to do this in case you've never done a print to cut. It's not going to be a full-on lesson on Cricut. We have classes for that too if you want to see some of those. So basically just make sure that you've downloaded your file, make sure you remember where exactly you have actually saved all of that so that you're able to find it. Make sure you have unzipped the file. If you did not unzip it, then you're going to have a hard time finding it. It's not going to show up here. And what we're looking for is number 9 right here on the PNG file. You just go ahead and double click that, tell it that it's complex, otherwise it's going to mess with your colors. Everything is already weeded out the way you need it. The only, actually you should not have to erase anything. Everything is completely weeded out for you already, so you don't have to really do anything except for apply and continue. You're going to go ahead and choose it. You can name it whatever you want and then go ahead and upload it to Design Space. Choose it and add it to your canvas. Now once you have it here, it's already going to say it's like way too big, and it is from the size that it is itself because it's huge. You want to make sure that this full size, you can see right now it's saying it's 13.48 inches by 10.56 inches. Make sure that goes down to 8.5 by 11. If you do that, then everything will be sized correctly, or about 11. It's fine. If you don't resize it, then everything's going to end up being way too big, and actually do it that way is easiest. 8.5 on this side, doesn't matter what that comes out looking like, but 8.5 for the height, and everything will be sized correctly. Now what I do just to split everything apart, and I do apologize, I tried to make this in an SVG and it just for some reason was not playing nice with me. But basically you're just going to go in here, and what I do is that I just get a shape. Anytime you need to break apart anything, this is how you do it. Just grab a shape, hold them together, and just slice it out. And you're just going to do this for each piece. And there you go. So now I got a clock. I don't have to worry about the sizing at all now. And then just keep doing it for each thing that you have on here. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll just duplicate a bunch of them, just have them ready. But you're just going to go like that. Choose the 2, slice it out. Get rid of this, and that one's all ready to go. We'll grab another one, put it behind this guy, and it should, oh, it's just touching that sparkler. If you end up with it just touching the sparkler, just curve it just a little bit. I left it so you should have enough room to be able to do that. And then do that. Make sure you choose the 2 again, slice it out. There you go. That's nice and ready to go. Actually, we're going to leave that one right there because there's a little note about that one that I want to give you. So this one, you're going to put in a separate pile, and I'll show you why. Alright, let's get our sparkler guy out of there. Because I already know you're going to see, if you haven't noticed yet, there are a couple of things you need to take into consideration if you are going to, forgot to silence my notifications, there we go. Alright, choose the 2, we're going to go ahead and slice that out. And now we have our little sparkler guy. Just get rid of that one. I'm going to grab our 2024 next. Slice that one out. There we go. Just delete that. Alright, so we have just a few pieces left. We're going to do the big mirror ball next. Once you get the hang of it, it's usually pretty simple. just going to get rid of that now. And it's up to you if you want to do each one of these individual pieces, but the only one that I would do is take out the 2024. I'm going to grab a circle for that one. Make it as big as possible and slice that guy out. There we go. Get rid of that. There we go. There should be it. I'm just double checking to make sure there isn't like any little straggle pieces. Looks good though. Alright, so these you can just leave the way they are. If you want, you could definitely go ahead and like move all of these around if you wanted to cut out each one of those individually. But these are fine the way they are. These four here, if you're going to be doing this on the Cricut, there's a little thing that I do suggest that you do is to make an offset for these so that you're not having to cut out each one of the tiny pieces individually. For the Have a Sparkling New Year, the reason that I say that is because as you can see, each one of these letters, not all of them are completely touching. So like you'll have like a little straggly A or something like that. So I just create an offset for that one. And I'll make it as small as possible, but just big enough so that they're still all joined together. So it gives me just a little less work to have to put everything together. I found that doing it at 0.45 is like perfect. It gives just enough space over everything that nothing's off by itself. So you're not having to do too much pasting or anything like that. If you want to layer it up even more, go for it. What I do is just change that little offset to white on mine, and then I flatten it out and do it that way instead. So it has a little bit of a white background, not a big deal. I didn't mind it. I thought it made it pop actually even better, so I like it that way. For this one, it's up to you. There's these little 3 stars that are going to be off on their own, so it's up to you if you want them to cut by themselves or if you want to do the same thing and create an offset for them. This one, I think I did this one at 0.8. Yeah, no, 0.9. Actually, I think I did it at 1, but I think 9 should be fine. No, yeah, it is 0.1. 0.15? Yeah, 0.15. So 0.15 just gives me a little bit on the outside, and I think I could probably get it a little smaller. Let's try 0.12. Yeah, 0.12. So 0.12 seems to be perfect for that one. I apply it. Again, the white makes it pop. It's just the style of the card. White just seems to be the best to make it pop. And then we have the 2024. It's up to you if you want to do an offset or if you simply just want to add a circle to the outside of it. In the assembly video, you're going to see it's going to be an offset. And for this one, just for the purposes of this video, so you can see what it looks like as an offset during the assembly video, and so you can see what it looks like as a circle around it. So I'm basically grabbing the 2, and I'm just making sure that I align it center, and then I'm flattening this. So this was just a straight circle that it's going to cut out instead. But during the assembly video, you will see how I created the offset instead. So there's an offset version, and then there is this circle version that you can do. Same thing here. You can do this 2 ways. You can create an offset, which you'll see in the assembly portion of everything, or what you can do is you can add a circle just to the sparkle part of it. So I'm going to do white. I'm going to send it to the back. I'm going to center this just like that. Alright, so that means it's got a little weirdness, but that's okay. So I'm going to center that the best I can, just like that. which means something must be hanging out over here. Let me find out what. I have a feeling there's a little speckle of something that must be hanging out over here from the other piece that we sliced before that we're barely seeing. Yeah, there's something over here. Okay, I'm gonna move this circle out of the way. So you ever see something kind of weird, like the sizing around it just doesn't look right? Bring in another like box and straighten it just next to the piece you have and slice it. There it is. You barely see it, but there's a tiny little micro dot right here that was attached to this. Yep, there we go. And there it's gone. Okay, so let's get back to what we were trying to do. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and align the center, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just flatten the whole thing. So now when you see it, it's just gonna have a little circle just around the sparkle area. It's up to you if you want to do that. Here's another little just quick tip of what you can do. So that little sparkle area, because you're in the print to cut area right here, if you go on here, you can change this to pattern, and you can, if you want to, like, see, I have this really pretty bright thing that I have in here, and I can edit my pattern so I can get that bright thing just in the middle, just like that. And now it just has like a nice bright sparkle around it if you want it to, and flatten it like that. On this one though, I can say that I kind of prefer the first method, which is the offset version. Like I said, in the assembly process, you'll see the offset version, but this is another version that I thought I'd let you see during this process. So once you have all your pieces all ready to go, whichever ones you created backers for, whichever ones you didn't need a backer for. Oh, I can tell you this one, the one little dot right here on the exclamation mark will be all off on its own. So an offset on this one wouldn't hurt. So I'm going to do the same thing, make it a white offset and flatten that out. And it actually makes it pop. That's why I really like it. You can also offset the 2024 if you want to. You don't have to. I accidentally stretched it, so I just undid my stretch. But all these are ready to go. So once you have it all ready to go, go ahead and save it, particularly if you're going to be making a lot of them. Go ahead and save it for your New Year's card embellishments, whatever you want to call them. And then we're going to go ahead and make it. All right, so you can see right here, Cricut's going to line it up however it wants, but I can tell you, you can just about fit everything on one page, just about. You know you have more room over here, so you can go ahead and like move that over if you want. Like, just adjust it as much as you can and really use up all that space. I don't know if you can get all of them onto one page, but if you're going to make multiple cards, go ahead and tell it you're making multiple now. So if you want to make, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, whatever it happens to be sure to adjust it now. And then that way you can fit as many as you can onto a page. And don't be afraid to like move it over to the side. Just keep in mind the ones that you have a little bit of an offset on. So you can see, I can almost put them all on one page, but these two guys end up not. I know if I do 2 of each one, they can pretty much go on to all their own page. So once you have all of that done and you put them however you like, you choose how many copies you want. You choose how many copies you want first, because if you choose how many copies you want after, it rearranges everything and it's going to warn you, okay, well, you just moved a bunch of stuff, we're going to rearrange it again. Fine, it's going to rearrange. Now it wants to go on 4 pages, but I know you can get this down to 2 or 3 pages, no problem. But once you basically have arranged everything that the way that you want to, it's going to connect to your machine. Mine might be off. You send it to your printer. You really don't have to do anything here go ahead and allow for the bleed. That way you get good clean edges, and then go ahead and just print them. Once you print them, you're going to put them through your machine, and you're going to go ahead and just tell it that you're doing cardstock. Hopefully you're using cardstock. I don't recommend using paper for it. Definitely cardstock. And you just cut them. And then once you have all these pieces cut out, come back for the assembly process.